Hello students and welcome to Saurav's classes. My name is Ashmita and in today's class we are going to solve questions which are based on analogy, and these kind of questions are basically from the English compulsory section. So today we are going to solve 5 questions, and as we have discussed in our previous classes that in these kind of questions and in these kind of classes you are going to come across many new words, and through those new words you are going to understand how to solve these kind of questions, and your vocabs will also improve, and these kind of questions require a lot of knowledge about new words, new meanings, synonyms, antonyms and all. So through our sessions you will be able to go through a lot many questions, sample questions, their solutions, and you will also know how to solve them. So let's start. Now we are going to solve from question number 16 to question number 20 today. The first question says indigent and wealth. Now indigent means poor, okay, and wealth, you all know, all the riches and all. So all the money, the ornaments and all, whatever, it can be in the form of mansion, cars, whatever, everything can be included in wealth. And indigent means poor. So these two things are kind of opposite to each other. So we need to find what? We need to find two words which are opposite to each other, just like the question. Now you have been given 5 options ranging from A to E. From these particular options you need to find out one option which will be opposite to each other. So let us check these options below. Contented means you are satisfied, okay, and like contented means happy, satisfaction, everything. And happiness is once again happiness, contentment, satisfaction. So you can say both these words are almost similar to each other. Let us move. So we cannot consider number A. Let us move over to option number B, aristocratic and stature. Now aristocratic means you are thinking about or you are leading a life like the high society culture, okay, you are following those kind of lifestyle. Your standard of living is quite like king size, you can say. So that is aristocratic. And stature means your height. So we cannot consider these two because these two are not even coming to antonyms, or not even for framing any kind of synonyms, nothing. Basically we need to find opposites, so we do not have to consider this option because they are not talking about opposites. One is talking about height, that is stature, and aristocratic is talking about high standard of living. Okay, let us move over to option number C, smug and complacency. Now smug means self-satisfied. You are like self-satisfied with yourself, and complacency means your the self-satisfaction or self-admiration. You are admiring your own self. So we can say these two words are almost having the same meanings, but we need to find opposites. So we cannot consider number C. Moving over to number D, emaciated and nourishment. Now emaciated means thin, skeleton, bony, you can say, and nourishment means you are getting all the nutrients which are required by your body. Okay, I'm writing down the meaning of emaciated means bony, I'm writing down, or you can say skinny or skeleton like, and nourishment means all the nutrients, all the food, whatever your body needs or your mind needs, everything you are getting. Okay, so you can say these two words are kind of opposites to each other because one is talking about skeleton like, another is talking about all the healthy fats and all. So nourishment means all the required healthy nutrients. So these two are forming opposites, so we can consider number D to be the correct option for number 16. Okay, let us move over to the last option also, because we need to at least check the options. Variegated and variety. Now variegated means multicolored, you all know, multicolored, and variety also means different types. So they are basically meaning the same thing only. That is, multicolored means different and variety also means different. So both these words are targeting the same meaning. So we cannot consider this one also. So the correct option would be number D. Let us move over to question number 17. Shale and Geologist. Now, shale means soft, finely stratified sedimentary rock. Okay, I'm writing down only rock. It's a kind of sedimentary rock. And who is a geologist? A geologist is an expert in or a student of geology who studies all these kind of rock formation and all. Okay. We need to find this kind of relation just like shale and geologist in the options below. And the option which will suit the best with the question provided, we will select that to be the correct option. Okay. Number A says catacombs and entomologist. Now catacombs are basically, it's an underground cemetery. You all know what is a cemetery. It consists of a subterranean gallery with recesses for tombs, okay, as constructed by the ancient Romans. So basically catacombs are related to Roman civilization, and you can say these are underground cemetery where tombs are kept, okay. And who is an entomologist? An entomologist is a person who studies or is basically an expert in the branch of zoology which is concerned with insects. So these two are not making any sense. Like catacombs are talking about like dead bodies of humans, and entomologist is the person who studies insects. So no connection at all. So we cannot consider this. I'm striking this out. Number B, aster and botanist. Now aster means a plant of a large genus which is typically having a purple or a pink red flower. Okay, it's a plant and it basically has pink or purple colored flowers. And who is a botanist? A botanist is an expert in the scientific study of plants. So he is a person who studies plants. All right. So I'm writing it down, studies plants. Okay, so we can consider this one. So we can consider number B to be the correct option. Why? Because it's kind of similar to shale and geologist. All right. So we can say number B will go because it's kind of similar to shale and geologist. So number B would be the correct option. Let us move over to number C. We have found the correct option, but as you know, we need to find the best option possible. So if we see that there are other better options rather than number B, then we will definitely move over to those other options. Okay. Let us check number C, that is obelisk and fireman. Now obelisk means a stone pillar, okay. And who is a fireman? Fireman is a firefighter. So this is a stone pillar they are talking about, and fireman is a firefighter. Stone pillar. So suppose if we consider number C, this is not making any sense, see, because one is if we look over to the question once again, shale means rocks and geologist means the person who studies those rocks. So if we put that kind of relation in number C, obelisk and fireman is not making any sense. So we are not going to consider number C. Let us move over to number D, love and philologist. Now love, we all know it's like kind of you like someone, you love someone. And who is a philologist? A philologist is a person who studies the history of languages. It can be any language, okay. So we cannot consider this one because he doesn't, that is the philologist doesn't study the subject of love. So we cannot consider number D to be the correct option. So I am striking number D out. Let us move over to number E, that is Reef and Astrologer. So what is a reef? A reef is a ridge of jagged rock or coral or sand which is just above or below the surface of the sea. So if you have ever seen a reef, you will see that it's quite green, or you can see it's quite multicolored. So reef is that particular thing which is like, it's a coral reef. Okay. And who is an astrologer? Astrologer is the person who predicts your future. So see, no relation between reef and astrologer is coming. So we cannot consider this option also. So this is also wrong. So number B would be the correct option for number 17. Let us move over to question number 18. Didactic and teach. Okay. So didactic. Didactic means instructive. All right. Instructive. And teach means like teaching and all. So instruction and teach, so both are a part of teaching. Okay, so we need to consider this kind of a relation in these options which are provided below. Now sophomoric. Now sophomoric means pretentious or juvenile. Okay, you are pretending. All right, you are pretending. You are just showing. You are pretending. And what about learn? You are learning something. So this is not making any kind of relation like the question provided. So I'm striking it out. Let us move over to option number B, satiric and mock. Now satiric means you are like taunting someone, you are talking in a taunting sense, and mock means making fun of. So we can say both are kind of similar to each other, just like didactic and teach. So we can consider number B to be a good option with the question provided above. But as we have discussed previously also, that we need to choose the best option possible. So let us move over to the other options also. Let us discuss reticent and complain. Now reticent means reserved. You kind of you remain in yourself, like you do not speak out too much, or you can say you do not complain too much or nag too much about something. So that is reticent, that is reserved. And what is complain? Complain means you are always complaining about something. That is what complain means. So we can see that it's coming to opposite, and we cannot consider opposites, because didactic if I see and teach if I see, these are not opposites. These are kind of talking about the same stuff. Okay, so let us move over to number D, chaotic and rule. Now chaotic means disorderly. Okay, something which is not organized in a proper way. So I'm writing it down, disorderly. And rule means something which is laid down. It's an instruction which is laid down and you are bound to follow. So once again, these two are talking about opposites. So we cannot consider these two options. Okay, the last option, apologetic and deny. Now apologetic means you are very sorry about something, and deny means you are absolutely saying no for what you have done. Suppose you have done a mistake and you are saying that no, I haven't done that. So that's denying. Instead of telling sorry, instead of an apology, you are talking about denying. You are saying that you haven't done that mistake only. So once again, these two words are talking about different meanings, different opposites. Opposites. So we cannot consider this option also. So basically number B would be the correct option to consider. Okay, let us move over to question number 19, hackened and original. Hackened means overworked or overused. Okay, I'm writing it down over here. It means overworked, or you can say overused. And original means obviously the original piece. Okay. So these two words, if I see the relationship, it's not making any good sense or good relationship between each other. Like hackened means overworked or overused, and original means something which is original, not used yet. So we can say that these can be termed as opposites to some extent. Okay. So let us see the options which suits the best. Number A. Number A is mature and juvenile. So mature means like having reached the most advanced stage in any process. Okay, that means mature. You have gained maturity. And who is a juvenile? Juvenile means under 18, who is still young enough to not understand many things. So we can say this option will definitely go with the question. So number A can be the perfect answer for this. Let us move over to the second option, because we need to consider the other options also. We need to check which option is going the best with the question provided. Trite and morbid. Now trite means lacking originality or any kind of freshness. Okay, and you can also say it's dull on account of overuse. So this is also talking about overuse. That is, trite is also talking about overuse. And what is morbid? Morbid means unhealthy or something which is death obsessed. You're always talking about death and all. So that is death obsessed or morbid. So it's not making any sense with the question provided. So I'm not going to consider number B. Number C, withdrawn and reserved. Now withdrawn means you are drawing something back, like you are retreating. Okay, and reserved means I told you in the previous question only, reserved means quiet and private. You are not too much open to everyone. Okay, so withdrawn and reserved, it's almost making the same sense. That is, you are retreating. You are reserved means you are retreating inside. You are not speaking with anyone. You are quite reserved, quiet. And withdrawn also means the same. It's retreating inside you. So we cannot consider this option. Next is evasive and elusive. Now evasive means indefinite, something which is not definite enough. And elusive means difficult to find, catch or achieve. Okay, so I'm writing it down, difficult to achieve. Elusive means difficult to achieve. Okay, and evasive means, I told you, indefinite. Okay, something which is not definite. Okay, so no, these two are not making that kind of sense like the question provided. Like the question is talking about kind of like opposite words. So this is not making any sense like opposites. So I'm not considering number D also. Let us move over to the last option, that is derivative and traditional. Now traditional means conventional, something which has been being practiced since generations. Traditional, which is being passed on over to the next generations. And derivative means something you are taking from the original. It's not original, it's derivative. You are taking a portion or you are taking the idea from the original. Okay, so this is also not making any sense with the question provided. So we can fix number A as the correct option. Okay, let us move on to the last question for today, that is question number 20. Question number 20 says auger and carpenter. Now auger is a tool. It's basically an instrument. It's a tool which resembles a large screw, and it is for boring holes in wood. Okay, so basically it's a tool, we can say. And who is a carpenter? A carpenter is a person who makes and repairs wooden objects and structures. Okay, so he's a worker, you can say. So we need to find a relationship just like a tool and a worker. That is, a worker always use his tools for his work. So we need to find this kind of a relation between the words or options which are provided, and then we can choose the correct option. Let us see number A, that is studio and sculptor. Now studio means a workshop where you work, where you keep your work instruments, and sculptor means an artist who sculpts any any statue or anything. A sculptor means an artist. So this one won't go, because if we consider tool and worker, see, if I put studio and tool, it's not going, see. Okay, studio means a workshop and tool means an instrument, so it won't go. Let us move over to option number B, awl and cobbler. Now awl means a small pointed tool which is used for piercing holes, and as you know, a cobbler is a person who mends or repairs shoes, and sometimes he makes those holes in order to repair our shoes. So with this machine he does the work, that is awl. With awl he does those works. So tool as awl and worker as cobbler can be considered. So number B can be a perfect option for this question. But we know that we have to consider the other options also, because we need to choose the the best option possible for this question. Next is seam and seamstress. Now what is seam? Seam means joining or stitching. Okay, so if I put joining, and seamstress means the person who stitches things. Okay, so a woman who sews. So seam and seamstress, seam basically isn't a tool. It means joining, but it is not talking about any tool. So it's not like auger. So we cannot consider this one. Okay. And seamstress is the person. It's okay. Seamstress is doing her job, but seam is not the tool like they have shown in auger. Okay, in the question. So we are not considering number C also. Let us move over to number D, cement and mason. Cement means that thing which the laborers use to build or construct the buildings. They put in between the bricks, and they it serves as a gum in between the bricks to build the buildings. Okay. So mason is refers to the laborers or laborers who are working in construction business or construction industry with cement and all. So this no, it cannot be considered, because cement is not a tool. It's a thing that they use, that the masons use, but it's not a tool or an instrument. So we cannot consider this one also. So I'm striking it out. Last option, that is number E, is apron and chef. So apron is the thing which the chef wears on the front side when he or she starts cooking, so that no stains can go and stick to their clothes. So in order to protect themselves and also to protect their clothes, they wear this apron, and it's a protective garment from the front, so that they can keep themselves clean while cooking. Okay. So we can say that this also won't go, because apron is not a tool. It's just a thing that he or she is wearing, or cook is wearing. It's not a tool that the chef is using in his day-to-day work. Okay. So the best option that we can consider is number B, which I have already told. Okay. So that was the entire discussion for today's class. We are going to meet once again with more such questions on analogy in our other classes.